Welcome back to the Hitstick. Dallas, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good, man. Good. How you been? How's life
It's good. It's good. It's all right.
been up to lately?
Watching a lot of football, playing Call of Duty.
Hell yeah, that's what's up. We had some crazy freaking football this week. A lot of defensive games, a lot of upsets in our both of our predictions. What do you think about all those games? Anything catch your eye?
Yeah, the Cowboys game was pretty crazy. Did not see that happening at all. Um, the Lions being on a win streak, didn't see that happening. Well, actually, did I pick the Lions to win?
No, we
I
both
actually don't
we
remember.
both did not pick the Lions to win.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah, okay. So yeah, the Lions. I don't know, man. The NFL is really weird this year, man.
Yeah,
Uh,
there's been some strange games this year. Definitely didn't see a lot of the defensive games, like the Patriots Jets game. That game was a little strange to me. The Ravens Panthers game, I thought was going to be a lot different than it actually turned out to be.
I
Um,
can agree. Yeah.
yeah. What other games were there that were very strange?
The Eagles
Uh,
barely winning.
the Eagles barely winning their game. That was an interesting
The
one.
Giants losing.
Giants losing to Detroit. Yeah, that was a strange one.
Oh my goodness.
Trying to think of what else there was. Uh, that's pretty much all the strange stuff. Other than the Vikings not even showing up against the Cowboys in Minnesota, that one was wild.
Yeah, that's like the biggest swing from like biggest win to worst loss I've ever seen.
Yeah. So you want to go through? We can go through games this past week. Talk about our predictions for this coming week.
Yeah, man.
I bet. Before we get there, though, happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there. I know we're recording this before, but uh, hoping you guys are all having a good Thanksgiving, enjoying it with family and friends, enjoying good food, some good football, hopefully.
Yes, Thanksgiving is amazing. We love Thanksgiving.
All right. So, last Thursday's game had the Titans up at Lambeau playing Green Bay. We both had the Packers winning that game, and it definitely didn't end up that way. I know Tennessee showed up and Green Bay didn't at
Yeah.
Lambeau Field. Derrick Henry threw a touchdown pass. He also
Yep.
completed another pass in that game, so he threw two passes and completed both of them.
He's
Looking like
him,
Christian McCaffrey out there.
the king.
Still can't catch a football.
He still can't catch a football, but hey,
Okay, yeah, he's playing good. He's playing good. He's looking a lot more like King Henry
leading the
than
league, man. He's leading the league. That's all I'll
definitely.
say.
And he looked really
I,
good in this game. Uh, Looked consistent. He did throw a pick, but he looked better than he has. He's probably getting healthier, so I think that's an attest to that. Um, I heard actually that Rogers actually has a broken thumb in his throwing hand. That actually just
wow.
came out a little bit ago. I saw he announced that he's been playing with a broken thumb on his throwing hand. So that's an interesting thing to hear, seeing as how poorly this team has performed this year
Yeah.
offensively. They haven't looked like the Packers of old. They've looked very different this year. I mean, I know Rodgers and his receivers haven't had like a good connection this year. He has new receivers, young receivers, apart from Randall Cobb, but
Yeah.
um, he hasn't looked the same. Doesn't look like he's playing like he used to. Like his passion isn't as high as it used to be, in my opinion.
Agree. Agree.
Um, Maybe that's an attest to the injury. Maybe it's an attest to them just not having a good like relationship receiver to quarterback wise. But who knows? I really can't say for sure what's going on with the Packers this
The last couple games, he's actually been yelling at Matt LaFleur on the sideline. So I wonder if
year.
they're having.
Maybe it's just frustration boiling over. Maybe it's the play calling. Like I said, I can't say for sure what's going on in Green Bay. But Tennessee pulled that one out. They looked a lot better, playing well. Traylon Burks has been playing much better since he's come back from his injury. I like to see that playing really well in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. He had
Uh,
like what 9 catches for 120 yards or something in that game.
7 for 111. 7 for 111.
Okay. I was close.
He had a good game. Off again, so I like to see that. Next game we had Chicago down in Atlanta. Justin Fields got hurt in this game.
He
He
did.
also played a little bit less like Justin Fields. He looked a lot scrubbier, I'd say. Game.
Yeah.
He didn't play too hot. And they ended up losing. We both got this one wrong. The Falcons pulled off the win. Um,
Shocker.
yeah, and it wasn't really Mariota, honestly. Mariota only completed 13 passes, only had 130 yards and a touchdown. He did run a lot in this game. He did run a lot in this game. He had 13 carries himself,
Everywhere, bro.
but they ran. They're more of a run heavy team. Feels like they ran the football.
Yeah, they did.
Pitts got hurt in this game. He's on IR. I know he's out for at least 4 weeks. I believe it was a shoulder injury. I was remembering correctly. I could be wrong on that.
He's having a rough year, man.
Yeah, they just can't keep going. But they did pull off the win. Justin Fields looked a lot worse than he did in previous games. He was still their leading rusher, still had 85 yards on the ground, still had a rushing touchdown. But he only completed 14 passes, threw a pick. I think he fumbled the football once, potentially. Not too sure. They didn't end up losing.
He needs. I mean, I can't really critique Justin Fields because like every stat line that we look at, like if you compare him to like Josh Allen and all those guys that are like really good now that weren't good in their second year, his stats are actually better than theirs, and I feel like he has even less than a lot of those guys had. Maybe not Josh Allen. Josh Allen, I know his second year he had nobody. But it's hard to judge because he doesn't get pass protection. He doesn't have a good receiving core. So
I will say, like, if you look at how Miami's the offensive line's playing much better, Tua looks better. But they added offensive line protection, they added more receivers, gave him like targets to actually throw the football, and they've given him time to throw the football, and he's looked much improved. I know he's in the MVP like picture right now. Insane. As a Dolphins fan myself, it's insane to even think that, like, looking at Tua last year compared to this year, it doesn't even look like the same player. So, I mean, maybe it's an attest to them adding protection and receivers, like you're saying. So maybe Justin Fields needs that. But as of right now, he doesn't have that. So it's tough to judge what Justin Fields is right now.
exactly.
He's lacking identity, I guess, if you could say that. They ended up losing this game. I know Fields is hurt. He was practicing though, so that's a good like day to day. So we'll see how they play this week. I think they're playing Jets. I think they're playing the Jets this week. Pretty sure.
They play the Jets.
Eagles versus Colts. This game was a lot closer than I predicted, and it shouldn't have been, in my opinion. I don't know what was going on in freaking Indianapolis with the Eagles the last 2 weeks. Playing not so good football.
No, they're not against teams that they should easily be beating.
Yep,
Kind of
definitely.
has me thinking the Eagles' best record is kind of a little bit of a fluke.
I mean, they do have one of the easier schedules in the NFL, so it's tough to gauge. But like I said a couple weeks ago, you can't write them off as not the best team until they lose again. They did lose last week, ended up winning this past Sunday, obviously. But they haven't been playing great the last 2 weeks. Colts played pretty good football, all told. I mean, Matt Ryan, consistent, no touchdown passes in the game, but he threw the football well. Yeah. Jonathan Taylor was kind of shut down in the second half. 4 yards in. Nothing crazy. Colts, they're usual, consistent, but nothing crazy. Jalen Hurts, 190 yards and a touchdown. He also had a touchdown on the ground with 86 yards rushing, so he led the team in rushing. I think Eagles' run game has looked rough the last couple of weeks. Might have something to do with how their offense is shutting down. Opposing teams are shutting down their run game. Miles Sanders has struggled the last 2. getting anything going. He only had 47 yards on the ground and 13 carries, so not great.
Mm-hmm.
Um, to throwing the football.
Yep.
I mean, they're struggling a little bit. Maybe they come out hot against the Vikings team that absolutely got pummeled by Dallas.
Yeah.
See?
I don't think they're gonna have a great game against Minnesota. I believe they've already beat Minnesota this year, right?
The
Actually, no, never mind. I don't think they've played this year. Never mind. But I don't know. I think
they
the
couldn't
Vikings
have
will
played
probably.
the Vikings. They're on the same
Yeah,
division.
yeah. I was about to say. I was like, wait, a little bit tired,
All good.
but yeah. I don't know. I think Minnesota's gonna come back from that loss and realize, hey, we can't just expect to beat everybody.
It's true. Yeah, anyone can beat anyone on any given
Yeah.
how the NFL goes. Like this next game, the Jets versus the Patriots. Who would have thought that it would have been 3-3 going into the last 30 seconds of the football game? I didn't think it would. I don't think you thought it would. I don't think anyone watching this thought it would. But both teams had zero offense. Zach Wilson, I don't know what the hell he's doing in New York. 4 touchdowns in 7 games is atrocious.
That is not NFL caliber stuff.
No, he has been awful this year. I don't know what the hell they're doing in New York offensively. They need to make a change. I know he's benched this week, so we'll see where that goes, but that team is a disaster right now. They lose their starting running back to an injury. They have a quarterback that's just not playing football. Like, he's not even playing football. He had 70 yards passing total against the Patriots.
140%.
He completed 2 passes in the second half of this game. I know the Patriots struggled offensively, but the Jets defense is very, very good. So I'm not gonna knock the Patriots too much in this game. But still, only putting up 3 points until 30 seconds left in the game, and they return a punt for a touchdown to basically win this game. Actually, that's really what won the game for them. I don't know. I can't knock the Patriots, but I can't give them credit either in this game. It's a tricky one. I did predict the Patriots to win. I thought their offense would have played better. Not putting up 3 points through 3 3/4 of a football game.
Yeah.
But that's just how it ended up. I
think the Jets record is literally based upon them having a very, very good defense this year.
Yeah, I mean, Robert Sally's built a good defense there. He runs that team very well. I think he's a very good coach. I think they need to figure out their offense, and this team could be a threat. I don't know what the hell they're going to do right now. I know Zach Wilson probably ain't the answer. Yeah, I've seen the word bust come out a lot this past week now, so we'll have to see where that one goes.
I 100% agree with that statement. If you throw 9 of 22 for 77 yards in a game, you're not a starting quarterback.
That's backup status. There's backup quarterbacks throwing better. Colt McCoy played better than that,
Yeah.
which we'll get to here quite shortly. The next game we had Washington playing down in Houston against the Texans. Outcome was the same that I predicted. You predicted. The Texans just flat out suck. Washington's a better football team. I think they're playing much better. Taylor Heineke has improved drastically this year. He was consistent this game, nothing crazy. He only had 191 yards passing, but didn't make any mistakes. That's the biggest thing, and I've continued to preach this. Like, consistent quarterback play wins football games for some of these teams, and most of these teams, honestly. If your quarterback is being consistent, he doesn't need to be a god. He doesn't need to throw for 400 yards and 7 touchdowns. Yeah. As long as you're consistent and your team plays well around you, it's the recipe to win football games. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
And Heineke's definitely putting that performance on since he's taken over for Carson Wentz. I do know Wentz was activated from IR this week. He was activated today, actually. So I don't know what their plan is, if they're planning on using Wentz once he comes back fully healthy, or if they keep riding with Taylor Heineke. We'll have to wait and see. But they look better in this game. The Texans, obviously, they just flat out suck. I'm to Texans fans, but you guys are at the bottom of the barrel, and there's no returning from that.
It's a struggle for the Texans, man.
Davis Mills was your leading rusher in this game with 10 yards rushing. So, yeah,
Yep.
that's all I have to say about that.
Good looks.
Yeah. The next one, Saints versus Rams. Rams lost Matthew Stafford again and started and got hurt again. I think he left with a concussion again, if I'm not mistaken, in this game. Never a good sign. Definitely been all year round. Players getting hurt with concussions and stuff. So
Yep.
he looked decent though before he got hurt. Playing well. He was throwing the football. He had 2 touchdown passes in the running game for the Saints. I don't know what's going on with them. I know Cam Akers has started to take the role again after he traded, but he never did. He's, I guess, back up the depth chart. They actually cut Darrell Henderson past week after the game. They let him go. Now on the Jaguars as of today.
Yeah.
So that's interesting because Darrell Henderson took the starting job from Cam Akers at the start of the year. And now Cam Akers came back, taking the job from Darrell Henderson. Cut Darrell Henderson. So I don't know what the hell they're doing there. That's I guess they're flipping a coin and seeing who's playing better, and then just go from there. Plan is they have a pretty stacked backfield though, like depth wise. They have Kyron Williams, who's played extremely well this year. Cam Akers, Darrell Henderson. So they had good running backs up and down the board. Now without Henderson, it's a little less depth. Kyron Williams and Cam Akers, that's a good combo at back.
Yeah.
Offensively, I don't know what their plan is with a bunch of injuries that they have. They lost Cooper Kupp. They now are down Matthew Stafford. I know he's not playing this week. It was already rolled out. So it's Bryce Perkins. He's starting again this week for them. So I don't know what their plan is there. Dalton looked great in this game. On the flip side, 3 touchdown passes, 260 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Looks very good.
He had a bounce back game.
Taysom Hill led the team in rushing this week.
Yep.
Chris Olave had a great game. 102 yards, 5 catches, touchdown.
Yep.
Looking good as a rookie. I think he leads the league. Leads the rookies yards after catch.
Yeah.
So he's looked really good. Saints looked good. Saints get the win. Makes sense to me. Makes sense to you. Makes sense to all of the people watching.
Yeah, the Rams are just kind of in shambles. And after losing Cooper Kupp, I mean, I think he's their entire offense. So, I mean,
I said that before he got hurt, so it just makes sense.
yeah.
We'll have to see what the Rams do because that's looking scary for them. That's a scary spot to be in right now for Rams fans and Rams.
So from winning the Super Bowl to 3-7, that's crazy.
That's a rough one. Bills over Browns in Buffalo, or actually this game was in Detroit. Sorry, they moved this game, so they played in Detroit. Game was a lot closer than the score line. It was definitely a lot closer. Browns came out and played good football in the first half.
They did.
They were only down 3 points at halftime, so
yeah, Nick Chubb was moving the ball in that first half.
they abandoned the run game. I don't know why. It was working early, and then they stopped running. So I don't think Nick Chubb got hurt, from what I remember, but he only had 19 yards rushing.
Yeah.
14 carries for 19 yards.
He, where he was like really like they used him in the first half in the passing game. He had like a couple big plays. He had like that 26-yard reception.
They abandoned the run game, though. They really did.
Yeah,
they went pass heavy in the second half. I don't think that was the move against this Bills team. Evan Singletary, though, looked like a different person. He was smacking people.
Mm-hmm.
For a tiny little dude like him, he was hitting people. And James Cook looked good, too, running the football. They both had 86 yards. Both of them carrying the football. A running game took over for the Bills, and I think Josh Allen, just an average game for him. His standards only 97 yards.
Yep.
He didn't really run the football. They utilized their running backs in this.
I will say, I think this is the best the Browns have looked all year. To be honest,
Probably.
like throwing the football wise, I mean, Jacoby Brissett put up 324 and 3 touchdowns, and
Yeah.
Amari Cooper had the best game he's had all year.
Oh, and another guy who's been coming up for them is Donovan Peoples-Jones. He's
Yeah,
stepped up.
he's had a good year, a very solid year.
He's definitely stepped up. We'll have to see what they do with Deshaun Watson
Yeah.
coming up here soon. Activated next week, I believe.
Yep.
The next game we had was your team over the Carolina Panthers up in Baltimore.
Ravens, baby, let's get it. We got the dub. That's all I care about. I don't care about how the team looked. I care about winning.
Yeah, I mean,
And we
that's, at
won.
the end of the day, that's really all that matters.
All I
This
know
game
is,
was defensive, to say the
the Ravens
very
look like
least.
the best defense in the league the last 3 weeks. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care. Come talk to me. Come talk to me. That's all I'm gonna say.
I will say that it was really just a boring ass football game until the second half, because it was 3-3 in the fourth quarter before interceptions killed the Panthers. Capitalized.
Yep.
Because there was no offense up until that point, and then once the turnovers occurred, then that's when the points started to hit. Baker threw 2 picks. Lamar threw a pick. Baker looked terrible, and I think it's a test to that they're benching him. So they have no offense. Their defense looked good, but they have no offense. So, and the Ravens on the flip side, I know Lamar was sick, so I'm not going to knock him for that.
Still
He didn't
ran
practice.
for a touchdown.
He did run for a touchdown. Yes, the run game did look as good as previous weeks for the, but they were down a couple
there was
guys.
A lot of 3-and-outs in this game.
It was a sloppy game, but it was a defensive game. So I mean, it wasn't anything to really worry about it as a Ravens fan, in my opinion.
I will say I remember who I was thinking of the 9 for 120 yards. The 9 catches, 120 yards. That was Demarcus Robinson.
Oh, good.
Did not see this coming out of him. Like I wish they would have thrown the ball more into him that game. To be honest, maybe like 3 or 4 more targets.
You have to step up. Someone has to step up in a game like this.
He was getting open. I mean, he was taking those routes and he was getting open.
In a game like this, in a 3-3 game going into the fourth quarter, actually carrying into the fourth quarter, someone has to step up, and he did. He stepped up when he needed to, made good plays. He looked good in running his routes, which he's never been known for that. Going back to playing even with the Chiefs.
I'm a Ravens fan.
He came from the Chiefs. He was a backup to Tyreek Hill and stuff like that. So he was there in Kansas City with Pat Mahomes. I know that. And I thought after he left the Chiefs, I didn't think he would struggle as much as he did early on this year with the Ravens. I thought they'd actually utilize him well, but they really didn't. But now that Bateman's out, had some injuries offense, I think Robinson has started to step up since the injuries to actually come into the picture a little bit. This was an eye opener definitely for him. So I'd like to see more from him. If hopefully they utilize him more, because I like him. I think he's a good player. I just don't think he's been utilized very well so far in Baltimore. Yeah. We'll have to see. I think they're getting healthier though, so that's a good sign for Baltimore. I think with the people that were out this week, I think they're getting people back this coming week, so we'll have to see.
I think I don't know if Marcus Williams is going to play, but he's practicing now, and that is very good for the Ravens as definitely. An all-pro free safety.
It'll definitely help their defense. That's already very good.
Yeah,
like I said, they're in a good spot, getting healthier. I think their schedule gets a little towards the end.
No, it gets easy.
Is it easier? So it's easier for them. Oh, I mean,
the Jags, then the Broncos, then the Steelers, then the Browns, then
the
Falcons.
So they're in a good spot then. If they're getting healthy and their schedule's getting easier, it's a good sign for them.
I think the Ravens are a 13-win team this season, with the way barring no crazy injuries happen or nothing major. I think the Ravens can get 13 wins on the year.
All right,
the rest of the schedule. That's my personal opinion.
We'll have to look and see. Next game though, Detroit versus New York Giants in New York. We both had the Giants winning this game. The Giants have been playing very good football. They took an L here. Detroit comes out with their third win in a row. Jared Goff did really nothing offensively. I mean, only 165 yards passing. No turnovers, though. So Jamal Williams looks like a god.
he was him in that game, bro.
Yeah, he's definitely their best running back. I don't care what anyone says. Swift didn't even show up. I don't know if he got hurt. I know he scored a touchdown in this game, but like he didn't really do much. Justin Jackson carried the football a ton for them. He was their leading rusher with 66 yards. Jamal Williams had the 3 touchdowns. He's definitely their goal line guy. Like he's 100% get in the end zone. That's who he is.
100%.
They don't use anyone else inside the 10-yard line at running back anyway. But that's that.
It wasn't like a crazy game, but I mean, man, dude, the Lions, if they get in the red zone, they're running it down your throat. They're gonna try to at least.
Yeah, no, definitely. And on the flip side, and I preached it. I've been preaching it. Daniel Jones, up until this point, hasn't really been making mistakes. He made some mistakes in this game, and look what happens. Yeah. They picks. They got really pass heavy in this game, and I don't think it helped Daniel Jones. Running game really didn't do too much. Daniel Jones was the leading rusher in this game.
Yeah, Saquon struggled.
15 for 22 on the ground.
He had a really rough game.
What happened to Saquon Barkley?
I don't know. Maybe maybe it was the scheme or the play calling that they had drawn up for the game, or maybe he just didn't come ready. I don't know. I think the Lions defense played pretty well against the run, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, New York, as tough of a loss as that is, they actually lost a lot of players to him. I know lost Wan'Dale Robinson to a pretty bad knee injury. I don't know exactly how bad his injury was, but they did lose him, and he's been a very talented receiver. He stepped into that slot role. He's been playing like a Deebo Samuel-esque player on that team. That's a tough loss. I don't know how long he's out for. I know he had gotten hurt, and I know they had said it was pretty serious, but I don't know past that. That's an issue for the Giants. They not only lost the game, but lost some players. So that's rough for a team that was doing very well.
Yeah.
We'll have to see where that goes. Next one was Oakland playing Denver. I had Oakland winning. You had Denver winning.
I will say that game went to whoever won the coin toss.
Yeah, that's literally what it came down to in overtime. Both teams weren't playing great. Raiders, I think, surged.
Yeah, they had that late push.
Yeah, they scored 9. Not counting. Yeah, I think it was a pretty sloppy game.
Actually, there was not. I don't think there was any turnovers in this game.
Josh Jacobs with 100 yards on the ground. Devontae Adams looked insane.
Yeah,
as he should, because he's probably one of the best receivers.
Yeah,
I won't make judgments. Derek Carr looked pretty good in this game. He missed some passes. Hit some big ones. Okay. 247 yards passing.
This is the best Russell Wilson.
He did look much better than
he looked comfortable in the pocket for once.
It was also an eye-opener for their run game with Melvin Gordon, his job to Latavius Murray in this game. Yeah. The fumble, I think he hit his 9th fumble in his 12th fumble in 3 seasons in Denver. Caught him after the game.
Yeah.
Well, Latavius Murray is their starting running back moving forward after this. But Oakland pulls it off in Denver. Gets the win. I think they've won their last 3 meetings with Denver. That's good for them. Good for them. They needed that win. They were spiraling, I'd say.
Yeah.
It's a good win for them. They have to continue this, though, if they want to do anything. Next game we had was insane. Dallas up in Minnesota, and they absolutely demolished Minnesota in front of their fans. I didn't see it coming. Didn't see it coming, especially after Minnesota's win this past week. But looking back on it now, I mean, Minnesota is probably just hungover from that win.
Yeah.
Buffalo, I think, didn't come out hot game, and Dallas came out swinging.
Yeah, they did.
They ran the football well. Tony Pollard ran the football well. Zeke looked good. I mean, he didn't carry the ball too great. Like, he only had average 2.8 yards per carry, but he did have 2 touchdowns, and he was running well. So that's a good sign for Dallas coming back after an injury.
Yeah.
So
Pollard's the leading receiver, bro.
Tony Pollard, yeah, he had 189 total scrimmage yards. 2 touchdowns through the air, 80 yards on the ground, 109 yards on 6 catches.
Oh, that guy is a dude. That guy is so good.
Dak looked good for them.
Only 3 incompletions on the game, man.
Dak, I've said it. Dak's been playing overrated. I will continue to make that statement. He's looked a lot better in this game. So if he continues this, maybe he's not completely overrated. We'll have to see as I'm not going to use determine if he's overrated. But they absolutely pummeled.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins only had 105 yards passing. They shut them. Justin Jefferson got freaking boxed. Who the hell was who was guarding Justin Jefferson?
Trayvon Diggs, I'm pretty sure.
Trayvon Diggs, yeah.
The majority of the game.
Shut him down.
That's a crazy game, man.
Dax is the team, yeah.
Yep.
Demolished. Crazy game. Crazy. I didn't see it happening. Actually, I did take Dallas in this game, but I didn't see it happening like that.
I think the Vikings should have definitely ran the ball more against them.
They probably should.
Against the Cowboys. Because Dalvin Cook actually ran well.
He did.
I
think
carried the ball 11 times.
I think they keep on the offensive passing for Minnesota. Yeah. Not away from. The next game, Bengals at Steelers. It was a good game. Both teams played really well. TJ Watt's still a menace on that defense.
Yes, he does.
Burrow.
He did.
Ton of passing, ton of yards, 4 touchdowns. Turn the ball over twice. If you're throwing the football as much as bound to throw some picks.
Yeah.
Something like Joe Burrow. I mean, that's a pretty Joe Burrow stat line.
Yeah.
Game. Concussion. Higgins went off through the air at 148 yards on 9. Backup running back Aj P. Ryan came out with 3 touchdowns through the air.
Yep.
He stepped up where he needed. Not really running the ball, but where he. Steelers have always been a good deep defense. So.
Yeah.
Kenny Pickett looked really good. Kenny Pickett looked really, really good in this game.
I'm not gonna say he looked really good. He had his moments. He looked better than he had the entire year. Yes,
he was putting the ball where he was making passes. He was putting the ball where his receiver catch the football, and he hasn't done that this year. That's why I'm saying he looked really good in this game. He looked like a better Kenny Pickett, which is good to see. I like to see it. I think he's got potential. I'll say that. Najee Harris looked good.
He had a big step up from George Pickens, and Harris had a I think his best game of the year.
2 touchdowns, 90 yards on the ground. All the game from the Steelers. I mean, they.
Yeah, it could have gone either way.
Yeah, no, I don't. I'm not gonna knock it as a loss to the Steelers. I think it's just a win.
Yeah,
a fair way of putting it. Next one we had the Sunday night game, Chiefs versus Chargers. Surprise here, Chiefs come out with the win.
Travis Kelsey kind of him, bro. Can't lie.
Yeah, I mean this game actually got a lot closer. The Chiefs had to actually back in the second half. They were down 20-30 halftime. But Pat Mahomes did Pat Mahomes things as he always does. Out swinging in the second half, came out with 329 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yep.
Just Pat Mahomes stuff. Isaiah Pacheco looked good on the ground, had 107 yards rushing. They lost Clyde Edwards-Helaire in this game to ankle sprain. He's on IR now for them in the offense, but Pacheco's looked good on the grounds as a backup to Edwards-Helaire, so I don't know how much they're going to lose offensively in this. I don't think they're going to lose.
Yeah, he averaged 7 yards a carry. I think they'll be fine.
I think they'll be. Even Kelsey's Kelsey. He's the best tight end there is. There's no question about.
Yeah.
6 for 1. Travis Kelsey.
Yeah.
On the flip side, Herbert made the one mistake on his pass. 280 yards, 2 touchdowns for 80. Josh Palmer had a good game. And it was nice to see Keenan Allen step up after the injuries all year long, came back.
Yeah, it was nice to see Keenan out there on the field playing.
They did lose Mike Williams, though. He came back and then got hurt again.
Yeah.
I don't know how bad that was. I know he hurt his ankle again. So that could be bad for them. But
yeah. And Justin Herbert looked pretty good in this game.
He looked a little bit more comfortable, I think. And now that he's got his receivers back, like his true receivers, he's not throwing to practice squad guys or just, deep depth receivers that are thrust into the starting roles.
Yeah.
As time goes on, I think he'll improve more. I think now that he has his connections, able to throw with more, knowing he's got guys that are going to passes. Other than that, I mean, Chargers got outplayed in the second half in this game. The Chiefs ended up winning.
Yeah.
Surprise. The Monday night game was an interesting. This game was in. This game in Mexico. Is this the game that was in Mexico?
I don't really know.
San Francisco versus Cardinals. Yes, it was in.
I don't think I watched this game.
This game, Kyler Murray was out again. It was Colt McCoy versus Garoppolo. He was down in Mexico. It was a good game. Garoppolo looked phenomenal. Dude, yeah. 228 yards, 4 touchdowns, no turnovers. Running game looked good. Deebo Samuel had 37 on the ground with a touchdown. McCaffrey, 39 on the ground. Elijah Mitchell, 59 on the ground. Crazy. George Kittle. George Kittle doing George Kittle things. 4 for 84 and 2 touchdowns. And Ayuk, 2 touchdowns. McCaffrey, 67 yards receiving. Deebo, 57 yards receiving. There's so much talent to spread the football around that everyone's doing their jobs.
Yeah,
that offense.
The depth on that team is crazy.
Oh, that offense looked very, very good. On the flip side, Colt McCoy, he threw a pick, and they ended up benching him in the fourth quarter. Trace McSorley, who came in and also threw a pick. The interception, though, for McCoy, it wasn't really his fault. It was off of a one hand of James Conner on a short little, curl route, and it got picked off the... It wasn't... Yeah. Outside that, D-Hop with an okay game got flagged for unsportsmanlike conduct for pointing at 2 defenders after he made a kick.
Yeah.
They benched him fourth quarter. They benched a lot of people.
Yeah, no reason to keep him out there and keep him playing.
Hopkins was hurt earlier in the week. He had missed a couple practices. Played. Other than that, San Francisco just slaughtered them in Mexico.
Yeah, man. San Fran they are kind of... Yeah, that team is really good. I mean, I originally thought like this game would go to the 49ers. Like I didn't think the Cardinals would actually beat the 49ers. I went with the Cardinals to be like, why not?
You took them as a flyer, and I get that.
Yeah.
I predicted this for the 49ers to win. I just think they're a better offense. And with Kyler Murray, he was questionable all week anyway. I knew that that team, even if he played, was not going to be 100%. So I knew that going into it, and that factored into my. I think the 49ers are just a better team than Arizona in general. Even Kyler Murray fully healthy, I
Yeah,
just think
100%.
that they're just a better team. They have so much talent across that offense between receivers, running backs, and their quarterback. Quarterback wasn't even their starter at the beginning. Looked great since he's taken over. So, I mean, I'm not going to be the judge of anyone, but I think the 49ers are just a better team.
100%.
So, moving forward with that, we'll go to this week's predictions. Got 3 games for Thanksgiving. Got Bills versus Lions. We're both taking the Bills. Any thoughts on that one?
I think the Bills add more, to the season. I think Josh Allen will probably have a better game than he's had the last couple weeks.
Yeah, with the injury, I mean, he's been playing slower.
I
He's
think
not.
I
He's not being as aggressive.
Yeah, I think the Lions curse gets re-enabled. Actually, what's the Lions record on Thanksgiving? I'm gonna need to look that up.
Look it up real quick. Look it up real quick. I know. I don't see. I think, but the Bills are a better, especially at home. I don't know what it is about playing. Don't play well in crowd for doesn't work.
Yeah, they have a negative record on Thanksgiving.
Oh, we'll have to see.
So I think that'll continue, in my opinion. I,
The next one, it's the afternoon game. We have Cowboys. Cowboys with the last game. Dallas coming out hot against last week. I think probably.
yep.
I don't think this game is going.
Yeah.
Next one, the night game. We have Patriots at the Patriots offense. They just don't have consistent overpower. Vikings at
Oh yeah.
Cowboys.
I think the Vikings.
I think the purple people eaters one.
yeah.
I think
can
they're gonna
agree
come
with
out
that.
here and they're gonna pass. They got disrespected.
They really did, man. No.
They're back against the Patriots at home in front.
No, they aren't.
The next one, Houston traveling down to Miami. This game's going to Texans are going.
Yep.
Their game, kick their ass, and head down and party.
I'm going with Tua's gonna have a 300 passing yard game with 3+ touchdowns.
Put the over under. Uh, Bengals at Titans. Taking the Titans in the
Yes.
process.
I think the Titans have been playing better football throughout the entire year. I think the defense. I mean, it's close defensively. I think both teams are pretty. They're both solid, but I think the Titans are a better defensive team. I think they're a much more defensive minded team, and I also think like offensively, I think just the physicality that the Titans just the physical brand of football that team plays, I don't think the Bengals are going to be ready for it. I think they're going to come out into this game and the Titans are just going to pound, pound, pound. And by the time the game gets, kind of deep into it, I think the Bengals are going to be tired, worn out, just not ready to deal with the king and
I
what
think
the
this game's
Titans
gonna
are
be
doing.
uh, I think it's gonna come down to both defenses.
Yeah.
I think it's just gonna come down to. I also think it does come down to Tannehill struggles.
Yeah, I was
But
going to say
this
it as
game
well.
could get out of hand.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's the only reason I'm taking is I offense power that the Bengals have. We have to wait and see Tannehill. If Tannehill puts up good numbers, this game could be very close. It could go either way. I think the Bengals edge the Titans. It's going to be close. I just don't think it's going to be Titans in this.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see. Denver, Carolina. Where are we going here? Because you have Denver. I've got Carolina.
These are both two bad teams
Nope.
playing bad football.
Nope.
I mean, I'm really going Broncos here because the Broncos gotta win a game, right?
I will say Russell Wilson looked better. He looked this past week.
Like they
Will
gotta
Russell
win a
Wilson
game at some point, right?
will Russell Wilson step up here? I'm
Like, I don't know, man.
I'm riding the Sam Darnold train in this one, okay? I think Sam Darnold comes out, he earns his job as a starter for Carolina. I don't think Baker Mayfield comes back the rest of the year. That's where I'm going.
I think that I'm going Broncos here because they gotta get a win at some point. They have to win a game.
I like that.
You know.
I like that.
Like, and I don't want to not pick them the week that they decide that they want to win. So
I like that.
That's really where I'm going. That game is, I don't even know what to think of that game. It's two bad teams. I think the Broncos are probably better offensively, even though they are not great offensively.
Yeah.
The Panthers, I'd say, are better defensively. So I don't.
This game could be a defensive game. It could be an all offense game.
Yeah.
Donta Foreman could run for freaking 300 yards. Sam Darnold could throw for 300 yards. On the flip side, it could be 3-3 at the end of 4 quarters, and we go to overtime, and someone kicks a field goal to win the game. Who knows? Two bad teams, anything can happen. It's just how the NFL works. Nobody knows. We'll have to wait and see. Bears at Jets. Justin Fields is hurt. He's questionable to play. They did say that he will likely play. He's going to play through injury. So, risky. The Jets are starting, I think it's Mike White. I'm butchering. I'm sorry, Jets fans. Zach Wilson's out of this game. He's benched. I don't think he plays in this game at all. I don't see anything happening with the Jets in this game. But I'm taking the Jets. I think that with, obviously, a backup quarterback who's played already this year, he's looked decent in his I think he got one start before Zach Wilson came back. He looked good. So we'll have to see how he plays. Chicago, I mean, you just lost to Atlanta. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And with Justin Fields being hurt, I don't know how he's going to do with running the football, if they're going to use him more as a pocket guy, if he plays. That's even if he plays. So if he doesn't play and you have Trevor Siemian starting, good luck. I'm sorry. So again, this is another who the hell knows what the hell's going to happen in this game. It could be anything can happen in this.
I think Jets defense, which has been one of the best defenses in the league all year, Jets defense plays Jets defense football, and I don't think the Bears do anything against that defense. I really don't.
I don't see it happening either. I think this Jets defense is one of the top teams in the league defensively.
Yeah.
I mean, they're 6-4 for a reason, and it's not from their offense.
No, it it's not.
That's literally what the Jets are at
They
this
don't. They
point.
don't. They have slowed down some of the best offenses in the NFL.
They held the Patriots to 3 points until the until 10 seconds, well, 30 seconds left in the game. Patriots haven't been they're not a powerful offense, but they move the football. They get into scoring position. They get into the red zone. Nick Folk, if you haven't seen stats, is the best fantasy kicker this year. He's kicked more field goals than anyone else in the league. And that's because of that offense. That offense gets him into that position. Yes, their offense stalls out because they're not a powerful offense. They don't get in the end zone a ton, but they get into the red zone and they get points on the board. So, and they were shut down by this Jets defense.
Yeah, and let's also not forget that they totally shut down Josh Allen. That this defense is actually really good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This Jets team is very good. They beat freaking Dolphins, but I mean that was. I can't say too much. We'll have to see how they play with Tua starting against them later this year. So, we won't know until we see how they play against each other in this game. Falcons versus Commanders. This game's in Washington. Washington's playing good football. Trevor Siemian's looked better. Falcons flat out are not a great football team. Taylor Heineke's playing good football. He has. I'm actually really happy for him. I think he deserves something, and this is definitely it for him. I really hope he doesn't lose his job to Carson Wentz. I really hope they stick with Heineke. Heineke's gotten them wins, and that's what he's earned spot that he's in right now. If this team takes it away from him at this point, I don't know what to say about the Commanders. Like, that organization is already in turmoil. They benched Taylor Heineke after what he's done for them so far this year. That's a disaster, in my opinion. So we'll have to see what happens there. I really hope and pray that Wentz doesn't come in and take the spot right back. But in this matchup, I'm taking the Commanders. You're taking the Commanders. That just makes sense. The Falcons haven't been playing great football. They squeaked out a win against Chicago. Mariota looked decent, but he's not good. Mariota is just not a good quarterback. Yeah. So that's where we're going with this one. We'll wait and see how that plays out. Tampa versus Cleveland. Tampa's looked better. They've played better. They beat Seattle last week. Or 2 weeks ago. Was it 2 weeks ago? I can't remember. I think it was 2 weeks ago. I don't think they were on a bye this past week, but they've looked better. I think they're playing better. Brady's finally settling in. So I think they take this game. Cleveland has looked better too. I will say that. This game might be close. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good game. I think the Buccaneers will come out slow though from coming off a bye.
I can. That makes. I think the way that Tampa has been playing as of, they're playing much better than they.
Yeah.
Next one, Ravens Jaguars. This one's a no-brainer. Jacksonville,
Yeah.
as well as they have been playing, they've been playing much better than people are expecting out of this team. They played well against Kansas City.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're playing better football. They're not going to beat. Ravens have a dynamic offense, and their defense is one of the best in the league. So it's just not going to happen for Jacksonville. I'm sorry, Jaguars fans.
Ravens.
I'm not going to be biased here, but
I am.
I'll let you be biased as a fan. I don't care. Next game, Raiders versus Seahawks. Seahawks are a better team. They're going to come out. They're going to kick the Raiders' ass.
Yep.
Plain and simple. Nothing else to say.
It's not even that the Raiders have bad pieces on their team. I just think they have the worst coach.
Their coach is terrible. Their coach is terrible. I despise him. Josh McDaniels is terrible. Yep. He's a horrible coach. He won his first 6 games as an NFL coach. I will say that. But he is, what is that now? He is 4-20-something since then.
Yep.
As a head coach in the NFL, that's disgusting. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I think the Raiders would be a better team if they had a good coach. To be honest,
He just
like
doesn't.
if you look at the pieces that team has, they shouldn't have the record they have, but they have the coach they have, which has led to the record they have.
Yeah, he's just not putting the team in positions to play well.
Yeah,
That's the problem. Like he has the pieces, he's just not utilizing them, which is unfortunate. But that's where the Raiders are at this point, and I think they're stuck there. So, all right, Raiders fans, taking the Seahawks in this one. Yeah, there we go. Chargers Cardinals, both going Chargers here. Cardinals. I don't think Kyler Murray's playing again this week. Backups aren't good enough to beat a Chargers team that's getting healthy. Keenan Allen is back. He looks good. Justin Herbert's getting comfortable again. The Cardinals are going in the opposite direction. They just fired one of their offensive coaches, their running game coordinator. They just lost Benjamin to waivers. I mean, they cut him. James Conner has zero depth behind him, so if he gets hurt again, good luck.
Yeah.
Hey,
man.
Go ahead.
Warzone 2 releases and Kyler Murray's one is hurt. That's all I'm going to say. Man's a gamer.
That curse is a disaster for the Cardinals. I don't know whether or not that's actually a thing. I mean, there's all the rumors, but they just haven't been playing well. The offense is struggling. They're injured here and there. Injuries have popped up for them. Things aren't going well for Arizona at the moment, and the Chargers are getting healthy. And the Chargers are a good football team when they are healthy. So as they're getting healthier, they're only getting better. So that's a good sign for them. Taking the Chargers, you are too. We know that. The next game, San Francisco versus New Orleans. San Francisco's hot right now. Their pieces are much better than the Saints have. Saints look better, but the 49ers just have way too much depth, way too much talent across that depth chart, and they're hot right now. That offense is playing well. Jimmy G is connecting with everybody. Literally looks like he's been playing with McCaffrey since they were kids. Like that connection there, which I'm very surprised about, has looked great. It looks like they've been playing together for years, and they haven't. He's just utilizing him like he would Deebo Samuel. Working so well. Kyle Shanahan is utilizing everything in that team.
Yep.
And that just goes to show you the difference between Kyle Shanahan and Josh McDaniels. You have pieces that you utilize to put your team in a position to win the football.
Exactly.
Hello. It's crazy, right?
It's crazy concept, man.
Yeah, so I mean, we're both taking San Francisco here. I think that's a no-brainer. The Saints will play well. I think this game won't be like a blowout, but the 49ers just have more talent.
I wouldn't be shocked if Andy Dalton had a pick or two at the end of this game.
It's gonna happen. Someone's gonna make a mistake in this game. It's probably gonna be sorry.
Yeah.
Next game, Chiefs versus Rams. Chiefs are gonna run away with this game because Matt Stafford is out again with an injury. Bryce Perkins versus Pat Mahomes. I'm sorry, but who? Bryce Perkins? Who?
I don't know who that is, bro. I can't lie to you.
Yeah, no. Pat Mahomes is going to kill the Rams. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I don't even see Aaron Donald doing much because that Chiefs O-line is kind of crazy good.
Kind of is, yeah. Yeah, they've been playing well. Pat Mahomes has been protected. Pat Mahomes.
It's not a lot. I don't think he got sacked at all last game. He got pressured a lot, but he didn't get sacked.
He's been sacked 17 times this year, which is pretty dang good. I mean, in comparison to some of these other guys in the NFL, he's
what's Joe Burrow at, like 40? I know it's high. He was getting sacked 8 times a game to start the year.
He has been sacked 32 times in comparison.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I mean, that team's just been playing well. It's the Chiefs. Andy Reid's utilizing the players that he has on his team to win football games.
To be fair, though, Andy Reid's one of the greatest coaches to ever exist.
Yes, exactly. I'm not gonna dive into all of that, but he's been utilizing his players to win football games.
Yeah,
That makes
he's
sense.
been doing that since
Day one in the NFL.
God knows you can remember.
Day one in the NFL. That's Andy Reid for you.
A positive record with Donovan McNabb. That should say everything.
Yeah. I will say, though, the Chiefs won't have their starting running back, so hopefully they can figure out what to do with Isaiah Pacheco and Jerick McKinnon, at least for the next 4 weeks. If you don't have a run game, though, it puts a lot of pressure on Pat Mahomes. Yes, he's the best quarterback in the league, but if you get one-dimensional on offense, it can get ugly. We've seen it happen time and time again in the NFL. Good quarterbacks, they can't do anything. They can't do what they normally do if they're one-dimensional. You're just throwing the football over and over again. Defenses can key on that, and you can either make a lot of mistakes or you can end up just getting shut down entirely, and it happens. So hopefully they can figure out their run game at least for the next 4 weeks until they can get their starter back. Because Pacheco is a good running back. He's a rookie, and he's not a starter. So we'll have to see how that goes for them. The next game, Eagles versus Packers. We're both going Eagles. I know you were hesitant on this one. Your thought on that?
I mean, the Eagles, man, it's just the way they've played the last 2 weeks. It's kind of like they've moved the ball bad against teams that really aren't that great, and that's concerning because the Packers, while they have had a really rough year, and that's more so the offense's fault because their defense has played great. So I don't know. I don't know if the Eagles have a great game against the Packers defense or not. So I don't know. I think if the Packers end up winning this game, it's going to be because of their defense.
Yeah, I think that's how it's going to be too. I think the Eagles will figure their stuff out, though. I said that last week, and they didn't come out hot against the Colts this past week. So I think the Eagles will figure it out. They need to run the football better. Big problem for them is their game has struggled the last few weeks. If Miles Sanders can figure things out, that team is a lot more dangerous than they already are. Because of the legs of Jalen Hurts, he can run the football. He led the team in rushing last week. If you have Miles Sanders running the football well, and then you have Jalen Hurts taking snaps, and then you have the threat of him either throwing or running the football on top of Miles Sanders, well, it's a scary situation. So
yeah,
if they can figure the run game out, I think they're in a better position than they are currently. We'll have to see how that plays out. I'm taking the Eagles in this game. I think they snap out of their funk that they've been in the last 2 weeks. Packers, they struggled against Tennessee. Tennessee pounded the football on them, but they also had a good passing game. Like I said, that two-dimensional aspect of an offense, it hurts defenses because you can't get pounded with a running back that hits you as hard as Derrick Henry does and then have Tannehill throwing the football over the top of your head constantly. It just doesn't bode well for defenses later into games. As the games progress, defenses get tired from getting beat down as they do. So I don't know which team will show up Eagles-wise. I think it comes down to who shows up Eagles-wise in this game. It could be close. It could be a big game for the Eagles. Who knows? We'll have to see.
Yeah.
That's the Sunday night game. Then the Monday night game, we got Steelers versus Colts. Kind of an ugly Monday football game. Ask me. I think the Colts are going to continue playing good. They've been playing well for Jeff Saturday. I think they're playing basically because they have nothing to lose at this point, so they're just playing football. So they're doing what they're supposed to. Jonathan Taylor's been running well. Matt Ryan's looked decent since coming back. I wouldn't say he's looked great, but he's looked decent. Passing game's starting to develop a little better for the Colts, using his receivers, moving them around the football field. On the flip side, Kenny Pickett, there's question marks all over him at this point in his career as a rookie that's struggled offensively. Najee Harris has been a question mark. We don't know which Najee Harris shows up, the old Najee or the Najee that we know and love. So this game, it's another one of those who knows what shows up where plays well, who doesn't play well. That's what taking the Colts.
Yeah, I think the Colts win. I think the Colts are a better overall team currently. Like, and I mean, it's not really like they're that much better, but I think like defensively, they have a lot of great defensive players on that team. That defense has studs on it, really.
It
And
does. It really does.
um, I think the Steelers right now are just a defensive heavy team. Offensively, they have really good key pieces and like a couple great star talents like Deontay Johnson. I think he's one of the best receivers in the NFL. He just doesn't really get to show it because he's got a rookie quarterback who
Yeah.
doesn't really know how to get on the ball.
Yeah.
So,
I do think that the fact that Najee Harris has been mediocre at best, at least to start the year, I think that did help the Steelers.
yeah.
And it didn't help Kenny Pickett either. And I
No.
think I also believe that the getting the reps with the offensive team Pickett's playing with currently, he didn't get the reps at all through training camp with the starters. He's playing with backups.
Yeah.
So now that he's playing with starters, there's no real relationship yet or connection. Chemistry, I guess, is the best word to use with the offensive starters. So I think give it some time. You can't judge Pickett yet. It's too early to judge him. In my opinion, he hasn't gotten a full experience as a starter in the NFL yet. He was thrust into it after 4 weeks with Trubisky, something like that.
Yeah.
So Trubisky got all of the reps with the first team, all the way through training camp, all of preseason, and then started the first 4 games of the year, and then Pickett was thrust in there. Yes, Pickett's played now for 7 weeks, whatever it is, with the starters, but he had no chemistry at all, zero, with those starters. So it's tough to judge a rookie based on not having reps with it. So it's too early to tell whether Pickett's going to be bust or good or he's going to be great. We'll have to wait and see. I think he has potential. I do. I truly believe.
I see potential in the way he plays and the stuff he does. I think he makes rookie mistakes, and that's obviously going to happen with a rookie in the NFL. Like NFL defenses are mean. They're not nice if you're a rookie quarterback. That it's super hard for a rookie quarterback to come into the league and dominate. There's only a handful of quarterbacks to ever say hey, my rookie year, I torched every team we played. It's only a handful that can actually say that. So
we'll have to wait and see, honestly. Other than that, though, is there anything else that you want to talk about while we're here before we wrap up?
Well, I mean, not really, other than the fact that I hope everybody has a fantastic Thanksgiving, and I hope people have a lot to, that they're thankful for, and spread positivity during the holiday.
Oh yeah, I like that. All right, Dallas. Well, we'll have to wait and see how the games play out. And we'll recap in next week's episode. I hope you guys have a good Thanksgiving, and we'll see you all next week. Appreciate you for hanging out. Catch you later. Peace.
Later.